You've probably heard it your whole life. Man up, be tough, don't show weakness. And maybe you did all of that. You built the tough exterior, you stopped complaining, and you showed up. And it still feels like something's missing. Masculinity is not an identity. It's a set of behaviors. And behaviors without foundation are just performance. The guys who actually have it together, the ones who are calm under pressure, who hold their ground without drama, that's not a different kind of tough. That's the version of masculinity that actually serves you. And that's a big part of what leadership is all about. Real leadership. And it's the kind women actually respect. They just know who they are. They can feel it. And that's the difference. And that's what this video is all about. Here's what I mean by performance. There's a version of masculinity that's entirely about how it looks from the outside. Some call this machismo. The voice, the posture, the refusal to ask for help, the guy who never admits that he doesn't know something. None of that is identity. That's just emotional armor. And here's the problem with armor. It keeps everything out, including the things worth letting in. I'll give you an example. I was at a dinner one time. It's a really nice place. And a fairly good-sized group of people, maybe 10 or 12 people, I don't remember, but all professionals, all highly accomplished folks. And there was one woman in the group who had just landed a promotion, a big one. And so at the end of the meal, she offered to cover it. Now, of course, this is a big group of people at an expensive place. This was no small gesture, but it was her moment, and she wanted to make the gesture. But before the waiter could even respond, one of the guys at the table cut in, grabbed the bill, and paid it himself. He thought he was being a big man. What he really did was steal her moment because he couldn't tolerate a woman picking up the check. That's not strength. That's a man who needs the performance because he doesn't have the foundation. He was wearing his immaturity on his sleeve. A secure man would have just let her have that, happily. See, performance works up to a point. It can get you through certain situations, and temporarily it can help keep people from seeing the gaps, but it doesn't build anything. And eventually that performance gets exhausting because you're holding it up all the time. A man with an actual identity doesn't have to hold anything up. He just stands there, calm, confident, and capable. And women can feel that. So what's the difference between performing masculinity and having an identity? Performance is external and identity is internal. Performance is how you act when people are watching. Identity is how you act when no one is watching. A man performing toughness still folds when he's alone. A man with a built identity holds to his own standards whether anyone sees it or not. I call it the crown. It's not a symbol, it's not a metaphor for dominance, it's just your core identity. Your values, your non-negotiables, the code you live by, whether it's convenient or not. The crown is what you stand on when everything else shifts. Masculinity, real masculinity, isn't what you project. It's what you're made of underneath. So how do you build that? Not by being tougher, not by reading more books about alpha males, not by posturing harder. You build it by deciding one question: who have I decided to be? Not what do I want to achieve, not what do other people think of me, not what would look good. It's simply who have I decided to be? And that question is the beginning of everything that actually works. Because once you have the answer, even a rough one, you have a compass. And a man with a compass doesn't need to perform. He just moves naturally with grace, confidence, and competence. And that's the kind of man that other men want to work with and women want to be with. If you want to go deeper on this, I made a half-hour video on exactly how to start building that foundation. It's called How to Take Back Control of Your Life. Link below. And if you want a quick gut check, a way to see where you actually stand right now, the Isolation Audit is a free download. 5 questions, takes about 5 minutes. Link below also. Stop drifting, start leading.